What's up, people? PaceBreaker here, and welcome back to Warframe Wind Down. Last stream, you guys got to see the space side of Scarlet Spear. This time, we're going back on the ground. So, we're not going to waste too much time. I do want to make sure that all of my stuff is where I want it to be, so when we start hitting things, they fall. They fall as fast as humanly possible. So we're just going to make a few adjustments here. Let's change this to... I wonder if you guys can hear the frogs in the background. It rained heavy. So yeah, you know what that means down here in the south. Oh yeah, especially Bayou country. Oh, yep, them frogs are gonna be singing. Pardon the background. Also got a fan on back here. But then again, I've always had a fan on in these videos, haven't I? Okay, so let's go to one of these relays then. Number 22. We have 47 minutes left for this wave. And if it expires and we haven't pushed back as many as we could, well, that's okay. So, overall goal... Excuse me. So, the overall goal is we are trying to push back and repel the invasion. So, there's a certain number of those ships that we have to repel. So, that's 70. If we get a total of 70, then that means that we've succeeded and we get our bonus points for clearing during each of those waves, which are about 3 hours apiece. So this is from my 43-minute session I just did a while ago. Well, actually no, I'm sorry. Technically, I got about 4,000, and then this is from us hitting that 70 out of 70. As you can see down here, ooh, that's not a good number. So yeah, essentially you want a 2-to-1 ratio as far as I can tell, because space teams are not going to be able to repel, they're not actually going to be able to sabotage the enemy ships if the ground squads, if there aren't enough ground squads sending the codes. So unfortunately, we're not going to be doing ground stuff, we're going to be doing space. What just happened here? Oh, a second. See if we can rejoin. Okay, well then. Looks like I'll be taking my own Railjack. Let's dance. I've also been making some modifications to my new gear. See how all that works. All right. See, so some people also a lot of people don't have a good enough Railjack to take out there. They don't have enough like mod capacity, enough points to upgrade their stuff. Like the little mods that you can put in the ship as well, or you know, they might not have enough resources in order to boost up the in order to buy the upgrade components here. I am rambling. It is like midnight here, and I am tired. Please tell me that they're not anywhere near this thing, because I do not want to start shooting. I do not want to start flying. Not yet. Alright, so we have a limbo. I'm on my Rhino. It's my team buffer Rhino. I don't know if anybody else is going to be jumping on board. There we go. That's it. Yeah. So fortunately, I've been out there grinding with my clanmates. So we've actually gotten our our respective Railjacks up there. Okay, yeah, it is starting to take a bit of a beating. Yeah, my Railjack is not exactly up to snuff. I mean, it's not like my buddies. Like his is really up there. Mine is it's getting there, but at this point I can stop trying to build it up more. As far as I know, because the Railjack Revisited update, you know, with like all of these quality of life fixes and changes, is going to be implemented soon. It already applies to the already applies to PC. They're working that out. Still need to jump on there and see how that works. Like the damages and stuff, and a lot of that is going to be like so much better. That's not what I need to focus on. What I need to focus on is that. God, is this the? It's not the basic one. It's the upgraded one. Okay, let's see. Looks like our teammate is already outside. Are we good? Oh no, I think he's still trying to like maneuver inside. And we have a fourth. Let's see. Rhino Prime, Limbo Prime, Mesa Prime, Nidus. Nice. And ship is fine. Uh-oh, my bad. Let's see, and the dorsal was there, so this should be the entrance right up here. What? Bro, what did you do? I hate when they do that, because then it's like, yeah, the orientation throws me off. I should probably be talking, but you guys have already seen all this, so I do want to at least kind of run through. Excuse me. I do kind of want to run through the Citadel and get some resources just in case. I'm also going to show you guys what my Railjack is configured for. I built it the same way I built my Warframes, to tank. Alright, so thanks to that, my teammates within range have a 97% damage boost. Come on. Let's heal them back up. Pop a dash here. It doesn't really matter. So, yeah. So, status update on my progress here. I have a maxed out Arcane Fury now, and a maxed out Arcane Energize. Energize being one of the most sought after Arcane enhancements, because, well, that allows you to boost up on energy orbs, and you can help out your teammates with that as well. Let me just do this. Boom. Mesa is taking care of business. And Limbo is holding them in place so they don't get too close and damage the links. Yeah, so I got Arcane Fury because, well, it's beautiful if you're a melee person. So what that does is on critical hit you get a melee damage boost. Hit that. Pick up the babies. Okay. How we doing? my HUD is bugged. Hopefully that's something that gets fixed. I don't know. Like, there's that whole controversy after Retalius put out that video, and it's like, it wasn't even that crucial. I mean, like, that bad of a thing. I probably shouldn't even be talking about that, but I don't see the point in not talking about it. Like, all he did was basically the same thing that he usually does. He criticized Digital Extremes, their management process, and, well, the game's current state. You know, with things being released and being in desperate need of being patched, and you know, and then like there's multiple rounds of hot fixes and stuff is still bugged out. You know, and so they like he can be harsh and blunt with his criticisms, but it's not like he called them all sorts of derogatory names. You know, I mean, I can understand the devs actually taking some umbrage, but you know, to take total offense and consider all of that unprofessional and all that and like a personal attack, that really makes me question, like, it makes me question what's going on. Like, are you? I don't know. But then after that, after he puts out the video that also shows that that's how they felt about like, I think one of his previous videos. Then, well, anyway, you know, that's not exactly the point of the whole thing. The point is his criticisms. So then everybody started spamming Retalius is right in the Twitch chat, and maybe even on the YouTube chat, and it sucked. Yeah, so like people were getting suspended from chat, not banned, but suspended. Because they were, you know, because they were basically spamming. Yeah, that's essentially it. Well, how is that different from the plat spam? This is more like that other stuff. Like, you're not helping anybody with this stuff. Yeah, well, we want them to know, we want them to listen. Yeah, they're really stubborn, but they do listen to some of that stuff sometimes. Sometimes. Well, they should do it all the time. Sometimes the ideas that the community have aren't quite the best. Sometimes they end up being some really, really boneheaded things that people suggest. Especially when everybody has a bad track record. They have a very bad track record of, oh, nerf this, nerf that, nerf this, nerf that, rather than buff this, buff that, buff this, buff that. You know, and then there are people who will stop and cry, buff this thing, buff this thing. Like, hell, I was a part of that crowd. I was like, buff Fang Prime, and they finally did it. And I was happy. I was so happy. Like, my babies are right where they ought to be. Like, right there in the groove. In between being crit beasts and being status machines, status monsters. Please tell me that this, yeah, that's probably just bugged out. And then that, I really wish that they had held off on Scarlet Spear until they did the Railjack changes, because they were actually talking about Railjack changes being in the works before Scarlet Spear was set to launch. Not that they were coming before the event, but that they were due. You know, uh, I'm kind of worried. I think my session might be bugged, so we're not getting anything. Let's see. I'm not gonna leave squad, but if I abort, can I pull us with us? Can I pull them with me? I hope so, because I don't want to screw them over and then leave them stranded. I trigger host migration and then boom, and now it's just their Railjack, and they might not have an upgrade one, and it gets like blown to shit. Please tell me no, we're not. Okay. We can still end up inviting them in. So, now let's look at the ratio. So, there are 7 ground squads and 4 space squads. This is actually a pretty decent, yeah, I think I had already said before we started that, 2 to 1. For every space team, there should be 2 ground teams. Because it takes 9 of those kill codes in order to drive the thing away. This sucks. Let me see if I can reinforce some people's stuff. Those are stable. So by spending some credits, you can start to repair people's things. Oh wait, crap. Alright, yeah, I just excuse me, I just now realized that they're on my team. Now if anything, there's that triggering a host migration might actually fix, which sucks, but yeah. No, I want to wait. So going back from from that part of the tangent. Okay, so the developers are damned if they do, damned if they don't, because it'll either be a very long stretch with no content as they're developing content as well as fixing the things that need to be fixed, or we'll get content but it needs to be fixed, and it's that basically. And that's so, yeah, because everybody who has been playing since, you know, the War Within was announced, and they were talking about it was going to be broken up into sections as they would release, alright, this portion here and then this portion here. It was going to be strategic, these strategic releases, and then there was a long period of dead air, and we called that the Wait Within. Yeah, that was not fun. But the thing is, like, yeah, so it's like, oh, it's a dead game, there's no point in playing then. Okay, fine. But, you know, will you come back when there is content? Because that's what a lot of people tend to do. Player retention is another major priority for the developers. I will admit to that. Some people actually thought I was sitting up white knighting on Facebook for the developers. No, I actually called them out on that crap. They tend to make a lot of bonehead decisions, and I will openly call them stubborn. Several of them are very stubborn. They dig their heels in, and they are certain that this is how it ought to be. And anybody else has a wrong opinion. Well, that's not how we intended this to be. That's not what we designed. Yet, you know, like, there was a criticism in that video I mentioned at the beginning of this where they basically do end up having the magpie thing happen, and they chase the new shiny thing instead of going forward. Instead of like going forward with stuff that they've already put in place. It's not been worked on. It's not as focused like it ought to be. I am already tired, so it's no surprise I wanted to playing bad. I just did a 43-minute run down here. So yeah, basically similar, except you don't have to deal with Railjack. You're just on the ground fighting Sentients. So if you didn't have any war parts or vengeful revenant or any shadow pieces, bring a Necros. You only need one. So bring a Necros. You're very likely to end up getting a few parts. And then there's that, because of this event, that means that, like, yeah, the availability for the shadow has gone up. So if you wanted to just buy it from someone, the cost, the price is lowered, so you can just buy it from somebody for a relatively for, you know, a modest price instead of like something absurd. Alright, so once you've gotten the Condrix's health all the way to 0, or like, well, it's like a sliver, then you go into your gear wheel, pull up your uplink, deploy, and then we will go into defense. And we have to protect the uplinks as much as we can, and until the percentage reaches 100%, thing goes back. And then we move on to the next site and repeat. So, first wave. Not exactly how I expected the opening salvo of the new war to begin. Believe it or not, yeah, this is a part of the new war. Because the new war isn't just a cinematic quest. No, I don't know why you would think that it would be. I mean, it's called a war. No, like, it's going to be a bunch of skirmishes, maybe some events, maybe some operations, but it's definitely going to be sentient invasions. There's going to be sentient presence in the origin system, and we're going to have to fight back. You know, so there's going to be some tile sets that we're probably going to get to play around in and all that. And of course, the Grenier being incredibly rock stupid. So we had to fight them off as well, because, like I said, they're incredibly dumb. So of course they're going to brute force it instead of have some sort of tactics. They don't have spy masters and stuff like we do. What do you mean spy masters? Well, like the Quills. The Quills know about the Sentients, they know about the operators, they know about the Warframes. What, yeah, they know about, well, maybe not exactly what the Warframes are. They might, I don't know, but they know enough to be trusted allies during all this. Three, two, one. Yeah. And this is how you end up losing a war. Because honestly, the Sentients don't care. Grenier, Corpus, Tenno, Orokin, Infested, they'll destroy it all. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're the villains, no. Basically, they pulled a Skynet. That were when they were first created and sent on ahead to the Tau system in order to help with the terraforming there, because well, you know, resources on in the origin system were running low. You know, they wasn't ideal conditions, so they felt the need to expand and colonize elsewhere. And well, the Sentients eventually learned and realized, okay, then they're going to end up coming here and doing the exact same thing. No, we ain't having that. Especially since we were here and we made this our home. So, that's the war. That's the old war. There's not much for me to actually talk about with what's going on here. Alright, so now that we've done 3 of these, it's opened up. So we'll wrap around, up here. Saren is not a bad Warframe to bring here since she can ultimately strip armor. Neither is Mag. I like bringing Mag. Like she locks things down when it comes to the defense phase, so I'll probably switch back to Mag. But then again, this wave will be over. Yeah, we definitely use some revamped fights. But of course, people got mad about like, oh well, why do the Corpus sets need a tile remaster? Why do the Corpus maps need a tile set remaster? Why do they need a facelift? Why do they need new ship models and stuff? Because you're also getting Corpus Railjack. Maybe not at the exact same time, but you're definitely getting Corpus Railjack. But they have to make sure that all of the models are finished. They probably started with the Grenier. So, and then we've, yeah, a second. So yeah, we probably started with the Grenier, and then like, they were also trying to develop Corpus stuff. I'm sure that some of it was already made. I mean, I'm not saying it was made like 100% completed, but dang, come on. Alright, back me up, Octavia. I love Spectres. I don't know, so then they're mad about that, like, why do we have, like, a reworked Jackal fight? We don't, like, I don't go back and, I rarely ever go back and fight the Jackal, unless like, I wanted to, like, farm Rhino, or help, like, a newbie farm Rhino. That's kind of the point, especially because, well, guess what? The Jackal is the very first boss that you fight after Vor. So slowly but surely, we are gradually revamping and refreshing everything. Just like when they did the Earth remaster. Earth did not look like this back in Update 13. Well, why do they even go? Because it's a gradual process. They kind of spread themselves thin, I think, when they do this stuff. So then they went and did that entire Warframe revised thing. So they made adjustments to some of the established systems built into the game. How status affects things. You know, like you can actually see the stacks. You can go beyond 100% status chance. They've bumped up the amount of status that things do. They bumped up weapon stats, so you're you know, like shit, what was it, just last year they bumped up I believe it was last year or it was the year before last, they did a major balance pass on primaries and secondaries, saying that melee would eventually also get looked at when they started to implement Melee 3.0. Melee 3.0 has not exactly happened. We're in the transition point going from 2.0 to 3.0. So, you know, I don't know, like all the stuff that they talked about is not fully implemented yet. But they gave us simplified combos. They've smoothed out most of the melee combos, so you don't have wonky hitboxes. And you swing, and then no, turns out you didn't actually hit the enemy because hitboxes don't line up, or something like that. You know, just all that noise. You know, just. So then here they go again, doing another thing, because now, boom, look at what they did with the melees and all that, and then we have another new system, Railjack, and people are like iffy about that. It's not going to be perfect right out the box because it's a brand new system that hasn't been tested outside of their QA people, because, well, shoot, when you think about it from a console perspective, PC players are the ones that do all the bug testing before we get what we get, even though it's still going to be buggy, just not as buggy. But now they actually have, come on, die already. Oh, I probably should have roared, my bad. But now they actually have a test server, you know, a test cluster and all, to actually work on things. I just turned invisible. Is that because of the... Yeah, that's because of girlfriend here. Cool. So, yeah, at this point, all of my specters are support. Oh, she did say something about Grenier Clown Car. Oh, okay. Nice. I was thinking about the Contrix basically being a clown car for the Sentient. Look how many of those that they can store in there. There's actually a scout ship / drop ship. So yeah, there actually are infantry in there, and they come out and you gotta do battle with them and all that. So that's interesting. Get to see what they can do. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. It shouldn't take them that long to have gone and done like a major balance pass on all of the guns and everything, because they did another one when they did Warframe Revised. So then they they adjusted fall off and everything for shotguns, and they, like I said, they were messing with status and such. So now, like, but then because it's like they dialed back on the raw straight up status chance with shotguns, but they bumped it up on the per pellet factor, if that makes any sense. So not just straight up as a whole, but per pellet, so you actually get to see just how much you can do. And but it sounds like a nerf, but it isn't. because it depends on the grouping of the shotgun. You're going to if you got a tight grouping, a narrow grouping, that one enemy or enemies are going to take a crap load of damage because all of those rounds, all of those slugs, will be embedded in them. If you have a wider grouping, it's not going to hit like it's like the expression couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. That so it's like or here let me explain it in a better way. Okay, so hold out your hand now, with your fingers spread wide. That's a wide shot. Now close your fingers together like a point. Bring them all together, make them touch. That's narrow. That's what I mean. So that's how many pellets you can actually get into a single enemy or group of enemies, or spread it out. So then with all that damage and status chance and all that, things are going to get messed up. And then what they did with the over 100% status chance, that means that when you hit with your status, well, if you have combination elements like making radiation, so it's fire and electric, there's a chance that the enemy will also take the individual damage and not just the combined one in radiation. So it wouldn't just be radiation. There's a chance that they'll get hit by fire and or electric damage too, which for say people who use condition overload or growing power, that's fantastic. Or any of those like other mods that work off of status, when the status effect hits. Did I lose that thing? No. The Spectre got carried away trying to kill stuff. So yeah, I have a low fire rate Shadow. In case you were wondering why it's not just going rapid and destroying everything. Now I wanted to try and do a more controlled build. Yeah, my burst DPS is reduced because I'm not doing as much damage, but yeah. Okay, let's see, where all that. Let's turn up. Okay. So, with that, we are ready to go. Oh no. Looks like people are complaining about the patch notes for for some of the latest stuff on PC, and it makes zero sense to me. I mean, sort of. They got mad because, well, this event for one was the basis for them finally coming around and looking at how healing abilities affect defense objectives. So stuff like Trinity, Oberon, Harrow, Nidus, anybody that Wisp, anybody who has a heal skill, or say in the event of using the Visorin focus with that void dash where you dash into things, yeah, you can make something immune to damage for a brief period, and it restores about 60% health over like a short span of time. So what they did was they made changes so that that stuff. So for say example, the dash, instead of it being that 60%, it's now 100 HP, a flat 100 HP per, like, what was it, 3 seconds or something like that? I don't remember, or it might have been 6. I think it was 6. And people misinterpreted, and they thought it was just them changing Vazarin completely. So, I mean, based on the context of what I was reading from other people, oh, Vazarin's dead. They completely killed it, and it's like, no. I mean, unless you're talking about them using it specifically for the immunity and all that, in order to quickly heal things like excavators or mobile defense points or cryopods. No. No, no, no. That's not what they meant. So, what's going to happen is the abilities will still function like normal. If you actually read the patch notes, the abilities will still function like normal for everyone else, but when you use it on a defense objective, like they've reduced some of the powers, reduced how some of the powers work, and then they've enabled new powers to even be usable. That's wonderful, because some of those things didn't work on defense objectives at all, and now they will. So now you can restore shields, you can restore health, or do like a regenerative skill. I'm trying to remember. I think Hydroid's puddle with the augment doesn't actually heal defense objectives currently, but it will. That's cool. With Railjack, they had like things similar to mods called avionics. They're basically the same thing. They're mods for the ship. They affect how the ship works. If you get like more armor, more shield, increasing turret damage, or crit chance, dash chance, then additional quality of life perks and stuff like reducing timers and increasing the heat gauge for the guns and all that stuff. Yeah, so those had multiple versions of them, and so each of them had like a different upgrade value. So you could upgrade something to like a level 1 or like a level 5 or something like that. Well, now that ain't the case. Like where there was like 3 or 4 different versions of the same thing, like the armor buff. That buff had like several different versions, and it's like, well, I don't know which is which. So they simplified it. It was originally meant to just be, oh, okay, so here you have an option, so you can get like more bang for your buck. You don't have to deal with, oh, okay, well, how am I going to be able to use this one? I don't have enough stuff to upgrade it all the way to max. Okay, but you have this weaker one that'll still give you a decent amount. That's what they meant. That's what they wanted. But yeah, there was a whole lot of stuff. So they simplified it. They got rid of the basic ones that you start with. So now so now there's still like a couple of them. Yeah. Yeah, so So now there's like two, like a basic one and a much stronger one. So you can get your start as well as upgrade. You know, be way stronger. There you go. All you gotta do is just touch that and you're boosted. Okay. Also trying to heal them. So, yeah, and that's not the only thing that they did. That was just one of the major changes to the core system. But now, man, it's like then they what did they do? I'm trying to remember. I think they what was the patch note? Ah, great. Now I have to look at the patch notes. Maybe not right now though. Ooh. But I believe they increased the vacuum radius for the ship and arc wings out in space when you're in Railjack missions, and they have also given you the great. And then they've what was it? They tripled the amount of resources that you get. There's a lot of stuff. It's just better to look at the patch notes because there's like, how many pages was it? Like 26 pages of notes or something like that. I don't know, but a lot of it is like right there on like the front page and stuff, and it's just it's good. There's a lot of quality of life in there. And like, oh well, they weren't going to change. Yeah, they were going to change it. They were going to make fixes. Right there and then, not immediately, because apparently, you know, they needed to compile all of the reports, you know, and then go over the numbers and adjust the code and everything accordingly after agreeing on what would be a reasonable upgrade. Is this good? Do we do this? Well, what about this other thing? How much do we increase the resources by? How much do we increase the vacuum by? What's up with the scaling? What would be a reasonable amount to adjust the scaling by? And that's what they're doing. That's what they've done. It's not just one person that just makes that decision. I'm pretty sure that they have a few people that they run that by. Granted, it still ended up taking them a while to do. Like, some of that stuff didn't really need to even be that way from the beginning. Alright, so we timed out. Okay. Well, hey, I still managed to make, what is it, 1,782 for that run? Or we just, yeah. I thought I want to stay dead. And then we have like some new avionics, more mods. I'm trying to remember what else they did, but I do need to sit down and play it on PC. See what else happened and what all we got and what we're doing, because it worked out. It just took a while to get to it. Oh, now I remember what I was just saying, that the fact that they released it that way to begin with, where like there's that big threshold. Someone described it, someone described the grind for titanium in order to build your ship parts your upgrade ship parts, either the tier 3 basic stuff or the more advanced rare salvage that you get. You know, and it was kind of dumb. It's like, yeah, okay, so you really need the salvage at first, but then once you get to a certain point, you know, once you've built the stuff that you need or want, then you're not really going to need salvage. You're not really going to need the titanium. That sucks. Alright, so next wave in 8 minutes. Okay. Well, we get, ooh, beautiful. Can almost get 3 of those. Alright, so there's still, what, 8 days? Just about. So I am going to try and grind this sucker, but not as hardcore, you know. It's just, oh, I'm on here all day, each day. Nah. We'll set aside some time to do it. Because I want to finish this. Like, each of these is 4,000. And you need 21 in order to make a full set and get the most out of the thing. Which means that, yeah, boom, 48,000 if I didn't have any down here. Yeah, it's not that hard to do, especially if you get in good, and then boom, you actually complete the thing in time, get 70 out of 70. That's 10k right there, in addition to whatever you made on each run, because you get whatever you get from the run, and then afterward you get a bonus if you cleared the objective, you know, the community objective, pushing out 70 of those. And then, well, hey, that's per flotilla, you know, each of these hubs, and then you can jump to another hub and do it again for that one, and you just keep on, you know, for as much as you want, as long as you want, under the time limit, and then boom, there you go, you're good. And like I said, so it's 10k, and then say you do like a 14 or 16 Condrix run, you know, that's 4,000 right there. So it's 1,400. I mean, 14,000. Not bad. Yeah. And then of course, you know, go up there in space, because space will also do right by you. Hell, you can level weapons doing these things too. Like I formatted my schedule and went up there into and I went out there, you know, those ground runs got me back up to max. Same goes when I was leveling my secondaries. I would not recommend trying to level Warframe during that though. But we managed to get it down. I am basically where I want to be. Alright, so this is my slow build. You know, my slow, heavy hitting build. So I'm rocking a critical delay, not only to increase my crit chance on the Shadow, but to lower the fire rate so everything hits hard. So I suppose the other thing I could do is, let's slide this down. So over here, where's my heavy cal? I don't know, the way I do my mods is all about aesthetic. So then with this, bam. Also, yeah, I know it's not maxed heavy caliber. Oh, I wanted to max it. It didn't work with what I was trying to do, and I didn't have the space back then. So this is the same heavy caliber. So if I get another one, or if I have another one, then yeah, I'll max one and then leave the other one at like 7. Yeah, I had to put another format in this in order to do what I want to do. You know, boost that up. But as you can see, yeah. So this hits slow and heavy. So when it crits, and things hurt. And then thanks to me putting that just effed up the, oh, that hurts. Hoo-hoo. Alright, so what's the boss move? Because it's a decent gun. It is. It's not terrible. I like it. And just like the other sentient weapons, it has its own ammo supply. It regens. So this one is a full auto rifle that fires off like these little explosive bolts. They don't explode, but like it's not like a rocket launcher. I want to say it's like the Exceltra, but not exactly. So you fire that, and they hit, and it's a status weapon. It has an alt fire that ends up working like the Amprex. So you shock an enemy or several enemies, and it just like it burns through them, depending on how you built the mofo. I want to make a different build, see if I can really do something here. So I want to see if I can turn the main damage up on this, but it's good the way it is. Then of course it's alt fire also. Then okay, I'm rambling. So when it empties its magazine, it starts to pulse, and those pulses drag the enemies in. So I'll read the description on the weapon. Boss move. This sentient war instrument can either barrage targets with explosive bolts, oh hey, I described it right, or draw on its regenerative battery to create twin plasma beams that chain through targets. When fully drained, health is leached from nearby foes for a short period. And that's where that little vacuum comes in, and it starts to drag the enemy to them. Well, to you. So the way its primary damage is electricity, but then when you do the plasma beams, that's fire based, as you can see right here. So yeah, it's pretty mean. So then boom, this is what my current build looks like. This is what it does. So we're at 107.3% status chance. So then you see it does electric and gas for a total of 723.5, and that's basically per second. Then the radio attack, which is it's alt fire. Is it? Hang on, wait. Yeah, it is. So yeah, I'm doing like gas and electric. This is odd because it didn't look like it was gas electric the whole way. Oh no, I'm thinking of the other build. My bad. So yeah, then you can see it's 111% status when I'm doing the alt fire. Yeah, this thing eats. Now, then, funny thing about them doing the changes that they did, the HEMA, the burst fire infested gun that took a boatload of mutagen masses, that mutagen samples. I'm sorry, that people complained about. Could you reduce the amount of samples needed in order to make this? Because it's based on your clan size, so huge clans required a lot, and well, if nobody's actually out there farming for the things and contributing, then you're not going to make the weapon, or very few people are trying. Yeah, you're not going to make it. I mean, there's a way around that. You just drop your clan size to a small one, make the collect what you need in order to do the research complete, upgrade your clan size back up, and there you go. I mean, hell, that's what we did, but it's also because we didn't have that many people. So we just went on ahead and just downgraded, and that made finishing the research a whole lot easier. Since it was mainly just like 5 of us playing anyway, we didn't need like a 30-person clan. Alright. Yeah, I slowed this down. This is way slow. But I like it because it means that I can actually lock on to the enemies with plasma balls, and I don't burn the cartridge out. Instead, it just eats. This is why I switched over to gas electric, or well, gas magnetic in this case. Still feel like that should be something else. I mean, you basically do it the way it is, like gas magnetic, corrosive blast, viral radiation. If you got that, so then boom, viral radiation, and then it just eats through everything, and it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, man, I can explain mods, no problem. I'm probably going to redo that mod tutorial and just set up and explain stuff. I don't know. It's probably easier for me to set up and try and record footage on the computer, and then just get a and then just do like some video editing, some photo editing, and show you like all the stuff with neat little arrows and all that cool junk. So let's head to the dojo. Let me show you guys what Railjack is, or at least when it comes to dealing with the menus and all this. Let's try and make some sense of this clutter before, well, they fix it, because it's easier to look at, it's easier to manage. As far as I can tell, it's less of a pain. There's less jumble and clutter, and you can just it's better. But just before even getting into a freaking mission, it's already a major improvement. My clanmates over on PC have even said that it does feel smoother. It's not as big of a pain, so that's good. Okay. I always get turned around when I take that teleport. And then yeah, the internal stuff doesn't exactly feel like how it's, but I don't know, it is a tad, no, not a tad, it is pretty freaking spacious. There's too much extra stuff. Oh, okay, yeah, that's where the forge is. We go down and it's, yeah. Yeah, it's like right there where that dot is. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then, like, up there where the engine cowling is. Yeah, so that's where the, oh crap. This is not the first time I've done that because I was not looking. So of course here's the nose with the cockpit. This is not what I was trying to explain. I just came over here because it looked nice. I wanted to take a look at my ship. Alright, so before we start going in and doing configurations, I appreciate that they also did this, so now you can sort by, thank you, because I was just, no, because when you look at it like this, it's like, what? Especially when you were trying to do research, because we actually left something out and we weren't supposed to. God, I'm still hurting for the thing. I need to upgrade my my heavy weapon. So yeah, so then you got your Mark 3s. If you still have the default ones, you're better off making like the Mark 1s or 2s, specifically the 2s, until you can get the 3s, because the 3s take a freaking ass load of resources. Yeah, it's not a problem if you go with your ass out there and then farm for the resources, but that means you have to stay out there. A regular mission is not just going to reward you or award you a fair amount of titanium. Sometimes it might as like a bonus reward. You know, you might get like 2,000 or something like that, and it's just nah. If anything, Railjack enemies should drop those resources instead of the planetary resources. It just doesn't make sense to me. So as you can see, I still have the basic shield array. Yeah, I'm still not sure about even using this one. Zetki is supposedly the best, but it also comes with drawbacks. Each of them has like their own little pluses and minuses. So let's see. So when I go back to the default engines, then you see, like, look at that. I went from 85 meters per second to 61 meters per second. My engine boost went from a 2.1 multiplier to a 2. All these stats are going to get bumped up anyway, but I'm going to go with current stuff. So this is what we're doing, and then I have a salvage. I have salvage parts. You know, you go out there and you blow stuff up, and well, you can end up getting ship parts. So that's what we got. So this is what mine does. Plus 23.9 meters per second engine speed, plus 0.14 speed boost multiplier, and then it also has this sweet little bonus here. 10 on board gain a 20% damage increase. Definitely helpful for dealing with borders, but at this point it's like, I mean, right now currently, yeah, that's very helpful. When there's the other stuff, it's like, no, because man, dude, I took some of the best meta stuff that was built as best as I could build it, almost the exact same way, went in there dealing with some high level enemies, and it just tickled them. Like, if you don't have like ways to cheese, like you know, being able to do finishers and just one shot, or well, not even one shot, but like quickly take out an enemy with like some sort of cheese strat, then nah, you ain't making it. Like, it's going to take a while. You're going to be wailing on enemies, and it sucks. Those are the 3. So I get more avionics capacity at the cost of less flux. And if my memory's correct, the flux is basically just my ship's energy. So I'm fine with getting this one too. Doesn't hurt. But then again, 10 gain, 50% speed boost for 5 seconds when deploying that. Actually, that's not bad. Do I still have the other rush drone? Yeah. So then you can do this free of charge. You know, so you don't have to use any of your materials, because ow, 12,000. Yeah, no. I went and made the basic reactor, the Mark III basic reactor, so it gives me 50 avionics capacity. So that means that I have a total of, I have like, what was it, an extra 50 avionics points that I can mess with. Alright, so what do I mean by avionics points? I mean this. There we go. So, here are my stats for my ship. As you can see, Railjack, armor 1,879, capacity is 80. So it already had the 30, and then thanks to having that reactor installed, that gave me an extra 50. So that means I can put in all these little widgets here, and each of them does something. So then you can see the flux capacity, which is 513, or forge capacity, which can also be upgraded. Um, so that's basically the maximum amount of materials that you can hold in like your little, well, it's a forge. So then you can craft what you need. You can craft energy for the ship to use special powers. You can craft munitions in order to fire off like rockets or, well, missiles. You can forge Revelite uh, in order to refuel your Omni tool that you can use to like uh, repair damage to the electrics or hull ruptures or fires. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's pretty freaking cool. Yeah. So we're getting a mod for this that will increase that capacity. So you don't have to just sit at 200 because sometimes those harder missions will drain your resources. So it helps to have like one person be your dedicated scavenger. So they'll go out and they'll jump on enemy ships or like blow up debris out there and just collect it. Whole team gets it, so boom, immediately goes in the forge. You make what you need, emergency repairs through your dedicated engineer. Boom, there you go. It's beautiful. Let's see. So in the nose of the ship, yeah, we've got the Carsonox Mark III. So this is its current set of stats. Heat capacity is 1,425 thanks to this baby right here. So yeah, it was already 100. Oh, well, I mean 1,000. Then you put like this plus 42.5, and that's where that 425 came in. Nice. Multi-shot. Yeah. So yeah, and then like the damage and stuff is going to look weird, but it's the same stuff as it is when you're doing ground missions. It's just they call it something else for how it functions in space. I believe. Yeah, and then as you can see, the Photor. These don't have the same kind of stats. These are beams, and these things eat. Like these things. Oh wait, no, the stats are further down, aren't they? Yeah, so then you can see what they do. I need better stats on these bad boys. Like seriously. Also, they are going to upgrade the stats on your Sigma gear, your the stuff that you do research on, because yeah, that stuff is underwhelming, and you have to use that stuff before you can get your salvage, your wreckage, and turn it into something good that you can use. It's weird. I don't know, like I need crit, I need status, I need to be able to like hit. There are avionics that allow you to do that, but they don't do as much. They don't bump this up because these stats are already low. I need something to be like 20% or 25%. And the only way I can get that is through salvage. So the other thing that they've added is there's going to be that valence transfer, the thing that you do with Kuvalich weapons, so then you can infuse a weapon with the stats of another. So if you liked the gun, you can keep it and then like boost up its stats through the other gun, kind of like absorbing it through osmosis, you know, in order to power it up and make it far stronger. We're going to get that. The fact that that didn't already exist in the Railjack system is just like, whoa, really? Okay, fine. Glad that you're doing it now. Personally, I would prefer that we didn't have the randomized stat parts, you know, with the randomized bonuses and all, but that's me. Like, I would prefer that we not had that right out of the gate. I would prefer to have waited until we got stable and then integrated this stuff. So these are my ship's special powers for battle. So Void Hole creates a 150 meter black hole that sucks in enemies, dealing 300 damage per second over 25 seconds. Costs 100 flux energy to use. So pull them all in, then hit them with a rocket. Done. Tether emits a field that restricts the movement of 10 enemies within 200 meters for 20 seconds. Detonates for 3,000 damage over 120 meters. Yeah, this is a freaking nasty thing when you're doing low level. This one is nasty when doing high level. It took a while for me to even get this. Wait a second, didn't I get the particle ram not too long ago? Ah, great, I forgot these have their own different... Yeah, there we go. So deploy a particle ram dealing 750 damage per second. Deactivate to launch the ram outwards for 3.5 seconds. Yeah, that's mean. Why would you do that? So then I've got another one for tactical. So this one's called Battle Forge. Reduces the forge cooldown by 110 seconds. No, but the ability itself has a cooldown of what is that? 8 minutes. It's like just dang. Alright, breach quanta. Temporarily stall hull breach for 20 seconds. Cooldown of 300 seconds. I don't even remember getting this. Huh. Because there's another mod that you can put on that also affects that. Void cloak. Cloak from enemies for 10 seconds and just be reduced to 5%. Nice. Some of the and these work the same way that mods do. And their acquisition is basically the same. You kill enemies, or blow stuff up. That stuff drops. You pick it up. It can also be rewarded to you at the end of missions, I think. I don't know why I said blow stuff up. I'm pretty sure none of these things come from the environment. They all come from enemies. Taking this up. Yep. Nope. Reach quanta. Right. But then I had another one. And I forgot what it's called. But it prevents the... Well, it doesn't prevent. It reduces the chance of breaches. What does Warhead do? Increase ordnance damage. Right. See, this is what I'm talking about, because then you look and there's a whole bunch of stuff. See. Breach adrenaline. Oh, right. Yeah, this is one of the... I'm guessing this was like one of the rarest ones then. Increase shield regen during breach. Right. Rip load. Decrease ordnance reload time. Yep. Let's see. Winged steel, winged cyclone, winged storm. So the winged avionics affect arc wings. So you got one for speed, one for armor, which is actually not bad, and one for damage. You bump those up and they do all sorts of stuff. So rather than using Endo, they use this thing called Dirac or Dirac. I'm not sure how you actually pronounce it. Yeah, so you get that from you get that while doing missions. You get it as you can get it as mission rewards, like a bonus or whatever, and also you get it from scrapping some of your avionics. The rarer it is, the more it's going to pay. Same goes for wreckage. like those ship parts I was showing. So you break those down and they give you that, and you can spend it to upgrade your stuff. Overloader, not bad, not bad. I hardly ever use the oh wait, ordnance is the heavy, the missiles, right? Yeah, I think, because I was thinking it was the big ass cannon, and I don't think that's what that is. It might be. I don't know. I have to do more research because I really don't remember. My bad. So, yeah. Let's see. Where are the things? See, look. So there's this. Oh wait, no. These are the same level. I was about to say. I actually am having a hard time seeing. I need new glasses. So these are basically the same, yeah. I wanted the other hardened casing. That was the mod I wanted. Yeah, okay, so we are going to remove this one. And we're going to put hardened casing in its place. So what does that do? Reduces breach chance. And I don't have any more points. Ugh. Okay, so armor increased. See, turret damage is increased. Hull's increased. Flux energy is increased. I can technically remove hyperflux. Last stand. So I basically built a tank. So then it doesn't really use shields. Once its shield goes down, then once its health starts taking damage and we get low, that's when the ship goes let's get dangerous. And the damage gets cranked up and we hit way harder. So, yeah. Okay. I was trying to look for stuff that... There we go. Thank you, Winged Mods. Good lord. Or avionics, whatever. As you can see, there's a cyclone right here. This one has 4 dots at the bottom. And then you have this one, which has, what is that, 8 or 7? I think that's 7. Yeah, it's 7. See? And then if you look, this is the right under, above my little cursor here. That's how many points it drains from your capacity. So this one takes 6 to start. This one takes, this one takes 2 to start. This one takes 6. I don't know, because it's like, oh yeah, like, see, because then you get one from this thing, and it's like, yeah. In fact, yeah, that is weird. Why are these? Oh, right, because these are different. These are different. My bad. God, what's going on here? So then you see this one is made by Vidar, and this one is made by Zetki. So that's the other reason why, like, that stuff is more expensive. But if you look, the bonus is way bigger. So this is good to start with. And then this is better later on when you're stronger. And that's basically what the new system is going to be. Like, if you have, like, 3 different ones and they're all over the place, like, say there were, like, 3 versions of Winged Storm here, and then, like, say you had one that was, like, level 1, then this one that was 4, and then this one that's 7. Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird. But I do want to actually start messing with those. I don't know, and then people are like, oh, well, Archwings still get torn up and everything. They've adjusted some scaling, so the enemies don't suck as much, and now you can even use your arc guns to damage the big ships. I don't know, man. It's just... I know, I just sat up and rambled for like 24 minutes. But yeah. Oh wait. Okay, you said I have 5 wreckage out of, right? Because there's this one, and that, and then the, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Here go my weapons. I was trying to get like specific ones. And then of course I also wanted like a pretty good bonus. So the Zeki Photor, the Zeki Carsonox. So yeah, status is way better, but it's not like, I don't know. I can get with it. I can make it work. It's just it doesn't. I mean, like it's for what it's worth. You could have easily modded these. You could have used the same mods. As like hang on, I am like losing it right now. Hang on. I mean, you could have. The system isn't that far off when you look at the avionics and stuff. It works just about the same because then you have like, oh, okay, how many points do I have? 80. Okay, and then each of my things is going to end up taking up a certain amount of space. Like, there you go, up at the top 14, 8, 6, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4. Boom, I'm already out. That's 80. Oh, right, and then like these down here. Now, all together, boom, that's 80. Done. If I want more, then I either have to remove some stuff or like start messing with this. So you do want to go to your grid and start upgrading these things. They go up to 3, but every time you do it, it's triple. So if I do this now, it's 200 to get to 1, then it'll be 600, and then it'll be 1800. It triples each time. It's like, now I think we actually can. It doesn't matter, I'm gonna get this back regardless. So there you go, now it's maxed out. So these give the whichever avionic you put in on that slot a bonus. It already bumps it up. So then you get however much you get total for that avionic on the little bottom bit of each of them, then plus 3, like plus 3 additional ranks. I know it sounds really, really absurd, but if you look, hardened casing currently, while it's installed, does 14. So let's go here and hang on a second, and let's pull up another casing. Can we not? Hang on, we'll do it here. So then, if you look, a proper, normal unranked version of this is 3.5%. Because I have the three freebies, it's 14% instead of the 3.5. So that's why you do it, because it bumps that up and it makes it so much more worth it. Let's do this hull weave on that one, and then Revo reducer, which is it reduces how much Revolite your Omnis use. So that's very helpful if you end up having a whole lot of things that you got to patch up. Oh no. No. Go back to drain, my friend. Right. That's the other reason why I didn't max this out. It gets expensive the more levels you put on it. So I actually have to swap out my reactor and get way more. because my hull is not as good as it ought to be. I mean, it's decent, but yeah. Yeah, so let's go back to the grid. Alright, so we got 600, and then look, see, 1800. So when you do it like this, it goes up. Yeah, your levels go up, but they don't cost you anything. So that's why I call them freebies. See, like my capacity hasn't changed, and I can still fit these on here. So then these, like, the stuff just gets stronger, and that's what we want. It doesn't matter. Can I do that on here too? Yes, I can. Looks like I can actually go ahead and... Oh, right. I'm actually a little low. I'm almost 600 off from maxing this out. But as you can see, I've got all of these already done. Yeah, so this is the other reason why I was saying do Scarlet Spear. Go up there in space. See if you can join a team. You know, if you got any friends who have a thing ready, then yeah, go on. And yeah, you will get avionics, the things that your class specialization basically. I mean, you'll get intrinsics. My bad. I don't know. Like they add a whole bunch of new terminology, and it's like, did you really have to? Oh, I'm 4 off from going to the next rank. Yeah, because to get to like 7 requires like 64 of these, and under normal circumstances that seems like it's hard, but like affinity boosters help. They do work. So if like we have like a double affinity weekend, say buy yourself one, or if you get lucky and get one as a login reward, go on go on and spend like an hour or 2 up there in space and get your Railjack up. So yeah, like I said, while Scarlet Spear is going on, yeah, go do that. Go play some space missions. Your intrinsics are going to go up. You're going to get 500 direct for free. Not all the time, but you're going to get them. There's some new avionics that you're definitely going to want. Not necessarily need. Some of them maybe, but and it's beneficial because shoot, I was able to get my freaking gunnery to 7 as well. And then if it weren't for the fact that I was about to go into my next engineering perk, I would probably just go ahead and upgrade tactical and piloting. Like, you can flip this over using like the square button if you're on PS4, and you can see the stuff that you get. See, so I already had the perk to reduce overheat recovery time by half. And the arc wing slingshot range is also extended by 50%. So then, yeah, rank 8 for gunnery. Oh yes, you want that. Granted, arc wings are going to end up getting adjusted in the near future. So yeah, but still, check this out. You get so boom, your damage goes up by 25%, your strength goes up by 20%, ability range by 20, and ability efficiency by 20%. Like, that just made you more powerful. And then if you throw the winged mods in, the avionics, more specifically the one for armor, you just made yourself even tougher. Especially when you brought the hardy ones out there. Granted, Amesha is the main one that people take out there, and devs got disappointed about that. It's the only one with survivability, mainly because of its abilities. We already knew it was OP when you released that one. And that's the reason why we already predicted, oh, okay, this is going to get nerfed. And yeah, so they're saying, yeah, they're going to nerf it to an extent, but they're going to change it. They're going to change Archwings altogether. They're going to go back and rebalance all of them. You know, it's like, oh, great. Well, hopefully it's a change for the better, but I don't think it will be. But yeah, I actually wanted this one, so this is where we're going. So we get extra defenses here, so that we get 30% health increase, 30% shields, 30% armor. I'm ultimately looking at rank 10 here. Not gonna lie, I would love to have the tactical menu applied to R3. So when you do that, then boom, so then you have like your emotes, your trade. Well, trade is for here, you know, when you're at Maru's, but like boom, so then it would be like your emotes, your gear wheel, and then flip over to bam, and now you got your tactical menu, and then you can probably set it up the same way, even though it doesn't really work exactly. But then boom, so now you have what you're trying to do. So then you can pull up like your pursuit cam or whatever, and so, I don't know, it just seems like that works better, because on PC you have way more keys that you can bind to. Although we do have keyboard and mouse support for console, so you got some of those, you can hook those up. Yeah, so the button to bring up the tactical menu is L on keyboard. I don't know what it is on console. I think like with the default bindings, it's probably like some other crazy thing. I don't know. Let's see, customized controller, Railjack. Let's see, toggle camera, primary fire, ability menu. Move down, dodge and blink. So then you also have your Archwing controls here. So it's look, ordnance. Wait. So then while I'm already in the thing, I can pull up. Thank goodness for custom controls. So let me see if I can pull up the tactical menu then. I don't think they'll let me. So reset motion controls. Is there a bind for that, or do I just no? Okay. So primary fire is that. Boost is this. Yeah. So then miscellaneous, so you can bank left and right. I mean, I suppose I could put that on, and then while I'm piloting, that I can bank left and right on these, but. And then of course you can cycle powers if you don't want to have like buttons cluttered. This is toggle Railjack camera. No, I don't really care about the camera. I'd rather be able to pull up the whatchamacallit instead. So I have more binding, so I'm probably gonna play with this. I don't know. Hell, I even actually play on PCs using this PS4 controller. I know, I'm a scrub. My hands don't really work like they ought to. I know, I'm real clunky and stuff and awkward. I don't know, it just feels better to use a controller. I've always been a gamepad person. I don't know, blame my dad. Like, seriously, you got me a NASCAR PC game and bought me a gamepad. I don't know. Man, that was so long ago too. Okay, anyway, I think we've rambled I think we've rambled enough for a session. because I basically sat down and just talked without really doing much of anything for about 40 minutes. So I think I'm going to put that in the description. So, like, you guys know. I might actually pin it as a comment. I don't know. So, yeah, so then you know, okay, so I will try and explain Railjack. So think of it like a big ass Warframe. Sort of, except, yeah, I don't know, it's weird. Wait a second, can I actually get inside here and not start a mission? Like, will I not get randoms in here? So, we are in here. So then, boom, here's your gunner section. And then right here, we have our built-in arsenal, which you can't access during missions. Would be nice if it was like between missions. Like then you could go in like empty space in between, and then you can do what you're trying to do. Then everybody can stop and make their changes. Of course, it's all red and creepy looking, but yeah. So yeah, this is your current in-game area. People are kind of disappointed. I understand. Like, all the missions are basically the same. Like, hell, one of the hardest missions in the Proxima is actually two missions combined. Yeah, it's not so bad. It's just it takes a while. And not everybody's interested in doing this. It's like people already hate Railjack as it is. And then you come in, and it's like, nah, dude. Like, and it's like, okay, fine, I guess. I am so glad that they put like the little lights here as an indicator. These didn't exist before. Instead, you had to just like look and see if it said forge ready. So now, no, it has little lights so you can tell which is what and what you're about to do. So that's cool. I'll say this about DE. Every time they make a whole new system, whole new game mode, it could practically be its own game. Arcwing, Lunaro, Frame Fighter, Railjack, hell, even the arena modes could easily have been their own games. Which actually reminds me of Amazing Eternals, and I'm still kind of disappointed in that. Like, I don't know. Maybe they could have actually competed with the other hero shooters. It's hard to say. But we don't know. I mean, it's possible that they might try again in the future, but I doubt it. But them having two games, out there, that could, I mean, like, hey, if it even had half the success of Warframe, that would actually be a very nice boon for Digital Extremes. But what's done is done. I liked it. It wasn't bad. I don't really play first-person shooters all that much. I don't really play hero shooters all that much. I stopped playing Paladins. I stopped playing Overwatch. I've only played one match in Apex Legends, and that was it. Like, it's not really my style. Then again, I'd rather play it with friends. We can just sit up and rib each other and just have a good time. I don't know. I'm just sitting up rambling at this point. We're about to end this though. do kind of want to check and see if I have all of the enemies so far. Come on. I mean, well, obviously not all of those, but I mean, like, these. And apparently not, so I don't know if these are... I don't know if these are more, like, enemies I'll find on Jupiter, or if these are more of these little idiots I'll find, in space. Because if they're the space ones, they're not showing up. Like, they... Oh, well, the thing is... Not, they're not showing up, I'm sorry. The thing is not going to load. You know, it's bugged, so it's not going to... I can scan them all I want, but they're not going to show up here. They'll be back. You know, I'm sure you'll have another chance at scanning. The only time that we've had something that we couldn't go scan again was, I think, Misery. The big boss man of all of the acolytes. He only showed up once, and that was during the initial event that brought him out. People have been asking, begging the devs to bring him back, give us another shot at him, because you bring the acolytes back like quarterly, I think. Might not be quarterly, but it might be like twice a year. I don't remember, but they come back more than once a year, but he doesn't come back. And then this guy has every single mod that all of the other acolytes drop. So how his fight worked was he was in one location. He did not roam around like the roaming legendaries in Pokemon. No, this bad boy just sat there. So you fought a whole bunch of enemies, and then he shows up ready to fight. And that was basically the ultimate goal from the Acolyte event back then. And well, we kind of got shortchanged. My crew. People were burnt out and they weren't playing and all that. So you know, we didn't really have a whole lot of people to just buckle down and actually just knock that sucker out and we get the highest point value. So instead we got the terracotta statue, the lowest tier, because people were just coming in and just doing like bare minimum, and then they'd extract on the first time they could leave, instead of trying to stay and farm the guy, because by that point each acolyte was axed, so they were gone. There was no like, oh okay, well I'll just go get that one then. No, there's nobody else. Violence, torment, malice, angst, mania, they were all gone, because they get taken out in sequence. I mean, technically you can kill them all off. You can kill like 2 of them at the same time, but still. Ugh. I don't know. I gotta do some arbitration, so I might do that later. I don't know. We got a whole bunch of aura mods and stuff to mess with now. So I can put on all sorts of stuff and do some crazy stuff. Let's see. Next Murex wave is up. So, yay! I managed to talk long enough to set this sucker up. But I think I'm done. I think I'm done for the night until like later, and then I'll probably play before or after NXT. I don't know. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something out of this, or at least were just moderately entertained by me rambling like an idiot like I always do. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Y'all have a good one.